Welcome to the Unlock Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Casey, and today's guest is my friend Micki Pauley. And Micki is a fitness and nutrition expert. She has her own company called Micki Lifestyle, where she offers different nutrition and fitness education and classes. She puts out amazing content, and I'm extremely excited to have her on the show to talk about her story, her company, and how she's changing so many lives. So Micki, thank you so much for coming on. I'm excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, so why don't you start by talking about your backstory a little bit, just, where you grew up and what really led you on the path of becoming more interested in fitness and nutrition, and just take it away.
Yeah, all right. So I grew up in Charleston, West Virginia. I was very active as a child. So I was a competitive gymnast, soccer player, swim, swim team in the summertime, track. Was just very active. And once I got to college, I didn't really have those activities anymore. So that's when I turned to fitness and, met different trainers around that kind of showed me the ropes, different things. But I never saw this as a career. So my major was actually my master's in elementary education. Because, I do love helping others. And as cliche as it sounds, you go into teaching because what better way to help people is through teaching. But so, yeah, I worked with probably 3 or 4 different trainers and, just really learned a lot. And while I was in school, I actually got my personal training certification through AFA and just started training different people at one of the local gyms, and kind of realized towards probably midway, close to the end of my education, kind of realized that, teaching really wasn't what I wanted to do, but one of those things where you just kind of convince yourself that, it is what you want to do. But so as I was going through school, I just kept learning more and more about the fitness and the nutrition. And I actually did about 6 different physique competitions where I was in the bikini division. And that's when I really started getting a lot more into the nutrition aspect and really learning how important, your nutrition is to reach your health and fitness goals. But so then after I graduated, I couldn't really lock down a full-time teaching job because around this area, it's super competitive. But I did happen to get 2 different permanent sub jobs where, you still get teaching benefits and teaching salary, but you're not guaranteed your job the next year. So I think it was after my second year, I was just kind of done. I can remember walking through the hallways and just thinking, summertime was coming, and I was just thinking, man, I wonder if I could round up some people if they'd like to meet every Saturday morning up at Law School Hill and just, let me take them through a workout. It'd be completely free just to kind of have some fun for that summer. And I mean, it worked. I mean, I would have about 15 to 20 people show up Saturday mornings.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was super excited. We run the stairs. I mean, if anyone knows Law School Hill, monster hill. But so we do different types of workouts. And winter started coming, so no one wants to work out in the wintertime outside. So
especially in Morgantown.
Yeah, you never know what kind of weather it's going to be.
Right.
So one of my friends who ran track for WVU actually had said, hey, my old strength coach opened up a gym in Morgantown. You should go check it out. So I was a little leery at first on it. So it took me probably 5 or 6 months before I finally went down there and walked in. And asked the owner, if they had any group fitness classes that they were teaching. If not, if I could bring a class in. And he was just starting, really. Like I said, he was probably 5 or 6 months into the gym opening. And, he actually was like, yeah, sure. So, of course, the gym's called Viking Performance. So we had to come up with a cool name. It couldn't just be some random group fitness class.
Right.
So we came up with Warrior Body. And yeah, from there, it just started blooming and, and going. And that kind of led me into, my part where I just decided that, this is what I want to do. So I literally just told myself one day, well, I am no longer teaching. I'm not even going to try to get a teaching job. And finally just opened up Micki Lifestyle and got certified in my fitness nutrition. So I can write plans for people. Mm-hmm. I'm currently enrolled now in integrative nutrition. So where I'm learning
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm learning different holistic approaches and absolutely love it. But yeah, so now my online portion is really writing fitness plans and nutrition plans for people. And then Warrior Body is now about a little over 3 years old now. And
That's cool.
It has really taken off and has become so much more than what I expected it to be.
That's awesome. No, I'm super excited for you. And I know, like, I mean, even, oh man, I don't even know how many years ago it was, Micki, but like whenever we were at Mindy's wedding, and like we were both just talking about nutrition the whole time during like the whole time, and you were talking about teaching, and you were saying that you weren't 100% happy there. So I was super pumped for you whenever you made that switch, because I knew you were gonna kill it. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think it's cool with your story too, about how you did start out being a teacher, though, because it gives you a whole different mindset, because you've seen you've seen things from the opposite end of the spectrum. I mean, you've seen how, I mean, unfortunately, how unhealthy our kids are right now, and how the obesity rate has increased so much, and the medications that so many of these kids are on. And if you just wanted to speak a few minutes on that, because I know you've had to see that firsthand, but you've also got to help kids firsthand too, through fitness programs. But if you want to touch on that for just a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny, when I was teaching, I had a fridge in my classroom, and I always had, my lunches and my snacks in there. And my rule was for my kids, because I would eat throughout the day. That's what gave me my energy. And the rule for my kids was they could eat as well. If they saw me take something out, to eat, they could pull out a snack as well. But it did have to be something healthy, or I would provide some healthy snacks for them. So that was really cool to see, because then as that starts to become an everyday thing for them, that's all they want to do is bring in healthy snacks. But yeah, so then with the gym, that was something. So the gym I work out of is a strength conditioning gym, but we offer, general fitness as well. But where the owner had his background at WVU as a strength coach for a while, I asked him, I said, because we have middle school and high school athletes there, but they didn't really have anything younger than that. And, I remember his response was, well, I'm not really sure I know how to handle, younger kids. And I'm like,
Right.
I got this.
Yeah.
Totally got this. So we actually started working with St. Francis Elementary, and we did an after school program with them 2 days a week where, we brought speed ladders, we brought medicine balls, even brought a couple strongman equipment for them so they could play. And the whole idea is to show them, fitness from a fun perspective.
Right.
I think now, because the obesity rate has skyrocketed, kids are being told you have to exercise, you have to go run, and a lot of them are rebelling. They don't want to do that. It doesn't look like fun.
Right.
So if you can bring in that fun aspect for them and basically have them exercise without really knowing they're exercising. But that's so then we actually started a kids class at the gym 1 day a week, where they come in and kind of take them through what we do with St. Francis. We do speed agility, the ladders. They run outside. They play with the medicine balls. We teach them technical skills with squats and kettlebell work. Yeah, and then we've done 4 so far. We've actually done strong kids competition. So it's like
cool.
strong. Yeah, so it's like strongman for kids. So they'll use their stones. They have medicine balls. We've actually had some of the sandbags for them. They push the prowler. They pull the prowlers. I mean, yeah, and it's a blast. They love it. And, each time we have one, we probably get, 5 more kids each time.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's just an extra way for them to, to have fun without thinking they're exercising.
Right. No, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, and that works both ways. That can either help the kids be a good influence on the parents, so the parents come in, or, vice versa, the parents are bringing the kids in because of that. And I know that you're focusing more on your Warrior Body program right now. And, you're telling me that it's taking a little bit different direction. You're going to do more with it online. So if you wanted to just, touch on that, and what your plans are for taking that online, and then the mindset aspect of it that you're about to really expand upon.
Yeah. So Warrior Body just started out as your regular group fitness class. I came up with some workouts, and, I put people through them. But, I don't have, it's not your typical class where you have the headset on. I'm like yelling at them, telling them what to do. I mean, I'm literally immersed in there with them.
Yeah.
And so, but, like I've touched on the gym, it being a different type of gym, I utilize everything. So from flipping 400 plus pound tires to, using other strongman equipment, kettlebell work, just body weight work. It's just taken on a whole new mindset of, people are scared to come into the gym because of what they see, and because of the name Warrior Body. So, but once you get people in there, that's why I tell them, once you step foot in there, once I can take you through a workout, you're going to feel so much better. You feel so empowered. Like, especially after you flip those tires, like they're not easy tires, but that's everyone's favorite because it makes them feel strong. And especially for women, like that's what keeps them coming back, is because, of how strong they feel. And I've had a few different people, ask about it that aren't in Morgantown, ask about it, online. And obviously it'd be difficult to give out the exact workouts if they don't have access to some of the, equipment that we have. But, absolutely, if I can create a program for somebody that, makes them feel brave or makes them step out of their comfort zone and really looks at fitness from a different perspective, because the same thing is going back with kids. We see fitness as something that we have to do. And a lot of times we have negative feelings towards it. Like, we don't want to do that. But if I can provide something, a platform for someone that's fun, and they actually look forward to it, and they have that accountability. The accountability with the other warriors has been huge. A lot of times that's, they'll say, oh, I really didn't feel like coming today, but I knew so-and-so was going to be there. Right. That's what keeps them coming back. So that's really what I want to provide, is something for a program for women and men to really look forward to, and fitness and nutrition just not seem like a chore anymore. Like, the goal is for them to be able to incorporate it into their daily lives without it seeming like a hassle.
Right. So is the online portion of it, is it more like counseling for, keeping them on track, or like for you to be their accountability, or just to help them with their mindset, or where are you taking it, like, with that portion of it?
So I think it'll be a little bit of both. So
Okay.
We'll do some counseling as far as, getting their mindset right and being there with them. But they'll also have like a fitness and nutrition program to follow as well.
Cool.
So
that's cool. No, I think that's super important. And, it's been a pretty big theme with a lot of the guests that have come on, is having the right mindset, because with anything that, you want to do, whether it's fitness or not, I mean, you have to have that type of mindset. And, everybody creates these like imaginary barriers to why they can't do something, like if it's a fitness program, or if eating healthy is too difficult. But it's just once you get past that barrier, and like, like you have a bigger purpose to why you want to do that, or like a bigger why. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. And I'm sure you've seen this too, when if somebody's just coming in there because they want to like look good, they're probably not going to come to very many classes. It's the people that have, I want to be healthier for my children, and I want to do this for my grandchildren. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure you've seen that a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I get the excuse a lot, I have kids, and I absolutely understand that, if you have 2 or 3 kids, even one kid, and they're in tons of sports, like me being in sports younger, like I know the dedication that parent has,
right,
to get their kids to where they need to be. But I also have like 4 or 5 parents that bring their kids with them to class. And I am totally okay with that. And a lot of times I'll let the kids jump in on it. And like my youngest one, I want to say he's like a little over 1, maybe 2. But his parents, I mean, he just follows right along with his parents. And they've told me numerous times, like, this would not be possible if you did not allow us to bring our son.
Yeah. And no, that makes a huge difference for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, as long as they keep an eye on him and I'm not responsible for him, I'm totally okay with that. So,
no, that's awesome. Yeah. And it's just a game changer, just having that mindset switch. It's, when people decide that they're not a victim of their genes or their circumstance, then, you can achieve anything that you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what's in the future for everything? I know you said you're taking it more online, but is there anything else that you're doing that you want people to check out or share?
I really just to look for the new programs that I'm going to be getting going online. Like I said, Worry Body is the biggest thing. I'm going to try to take it in different directions, and it not just be, training programs and nutrition programs, but more alongside the counseling as well. And that's where the whole integrative nutrition comes in.
I've heard amazing things about that program. I'm excited.
It has been phenomenal so far. But what got me into towards that was that I was having so many clients with thyroid problems, dairy problems, like just not dropping weight, just adrenal glands. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, there's got to be something more than me just writing you a nutrition program and having you follow it. Or more than just the serving sizes or types of carbs. Like there's a lot more to food and us inside is with anxiety and it's just there's just so much that I was like, I have to be able to help my clients in more than one way than just telling them to eat a carrot.
Right. Well, people don't, you got to think about your food choices. I mean, what you eat literally becomes your body. That what you eat becomes your organs and your eyeballs, and that's what forms your I mean, that's what leads to what kind of mood that you have and the energy that you have. So it literally creates everything. So if you're eating a diet that's junk, you're literally creating junk cells. You're creating bad, I mean, not healthy attitudes. And I mean, it affects literally everything that you could imagine.
Yep, absolutely. And I tell them now, I'm like, if you don't, because I get, oh, well, I've been feeling fine. I'm like, yeah, you feel fine now, but you may not feel fine next week or, in a month or, even in a year if you continue to feed your body, tons of processed food and sugars.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, I know, what, we always taught people is, you can't judge your health by how you feel, because you have to look at something like, how does cancer feel in that beginning stage? Like on day one that you would, have cancer, how do you feel? I mean, you don't feel it, right? Like you don't know it until there's a study out that says that people have cancer cells in their body 6 to 8 years before you have that first symptom. So it's not, you can't go by how you feel. And that's awesome that you're able to educate your clients that as well. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what is the best way for people to follow you on social media? That way they can keep up with what you're doing. I know you're putting a lot of really awesome videos and different forms of content out there. So how can people follow you online and keep up with what you're doing?
Yeah, so I keep it pretty simple. Both my Instagram and my Facebook pages are just Micki Lifestyle. So I keep it simple and easy to follow. But yes, I do. Those are my two main pages that I work on the most. And yeah, I post daily and at least 2 to 3 times a day if I can.
Awesome, cool. And then Micki, one last closing question that I ask everybody, but if you have one piece of advice that you could give the audience, maybe it's something that's helped you along your fitness journey, but if you could only give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Whatever you are scared of, do it. Whatever you're scared of, do it. Yep.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you so much, Micki, for coming on. I really loved having you, and I'm excited to watch how your company grows and excited to share it with people.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This has been great.